The team and I have made it back to Washington State, to one of the squatchiest places in the world, the Blue Mountains. We met up with Dr. Jeff Meldrum at 5 Points and decided it would be the right place to hold our first night investigation. Late that night, Cliff and I were following a curiously rancid smell, but stopped dead in our tracks when we saw eye shine in the trees.
What? There's a shiny green. That's an eye shine. But what is it? I don't see anything in the film.
What the hell?
You did see it, right? It's not
Yeah,
just...
I did.
Ooh, is this the source of the smell? Yeah. This is it.
Yucca-rollies. We just found a dead elk. This is a place where they'd come in and roll around in the mud, and one apparently went for a roll in the mud and didn't get up.
This thing's been lying around for about 3 weeks based on how far this thing's decomposed. But most interestingly, this thing did not die of natural causes. It's not the sort of place an animal would hold itself up. This thing was killed at this location. Question is, what killed it?
So many of the footprints from this area were found in elk wallows like this.
Yeah?
Stupid snow. If it hadn't snowed today, we could see what was feeding on this thing over the last week or two. I mean, there could be Sasquatch footprints underneath the snow right now. We'd never know.
Oh, did you just burp?
No.
Fart?
No.
Well, it came like right across my face. So I thought maybe you burped at first.
Mm-mm.
Ah, maybe I'm smelling that dead elk.
Well, I don't think this one's gonna go anywhere. Maybe we should take off.
Yeah, I'll let him know. Bobo.
Yeah, go ahead.
So listen, I'm thinking there's probably no Bigfoots on this particular part of this flank of the Blues tonight.
I hear that. At least you found the smell. Yeah, we had a weird smell over here a little bit. It was brief, then it went away, but rank odor.
All right, well, we're gonna head back up in your direction.
We know there's a lot of animal activity in the Blue Mountains, but it's just dead out here tonight. Literally dead. So we're gonna hook back up with Bobo and Renee and get the heck out of this freezing weather.
It would be extremely difficult to determine what animal brought down that elk in that location. It would have been much easier to tell what animals had been feeding on it. Clearly, any tracks that had been put there over the last few weeks would still be there, but the snow covered them all.
This may have not been the right night, but it's the right place.
For sure. I heard Sasquatches here a few years ago when I did my own solo trip in this location. I know there are Bigfoots in these mountains.
What we need to do is find out where the recent reports are. We need to get back down there and have a town hall.
I'm sure tonight's town hall is going to be ridiculous. There are so many people living in the local area who have seen Sasquatches. Hopefully some of these witnesses have been seeing things in January and February, so we might have an idea where to go in the lower altitudes.
Hello, Walla Walla.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have encountered a Sasquatch at some point, whether you've seen it, heard it, or even found footprints, will you please raise your hand nice and high?
No way!
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
This is awesome.
How many of these things happen within 50 miles of where we're at right now?
My name's David Bean. I have a handprint. Apparently, Bigfoot was after a chipmunk. He was finding food. That particular cast were taken at the edge of the watershed. Their fingers are about this much longer, about 2 inches longer than ours.
That's so cool.
That is awesome.
That's great.
Hi, my name is Chelsea. My encounter happened on December 27th of 2012 on the Umatilla Indian Reservation. I was driving home with a friend. I approached an old truck that was coming to a stop. So I knew that something was about to cross the road, so I had slowed down. And I saw a large animal cross in front of my car. It took maybe 1.5 to 2 steps to cross the road. My friend that was with me at the time was texting and not paying attention to the road. And I said, oh my God, I think I just saw Bigfoot.
Hi, I'm Mark Addington. I live here in Walla Walla. January 30th of 95, we had a pretty big tracking site. We actually tracked him for over 7 miles. It was a family of 3. There was a larger track, a medium-sized track, and a smaller track, kind of like the old Goldilocks story.
Like how big?
The larger track was, 17, 18 inches. It was always about 20 yards away, and then the medium-sized track and the smaller track were always close together. The little one's tracks would disappear all of a sudden. It was being picked up like a mom and a baby.
My name is Carol Summerlin Pat. I'm Wes Summerlin's daughter.
Now, Wes, in case you don't know, is like probably one of the most premier Bigfoot researchers ever, period.
My late husband and I, we were driving up Jasper Mountain. We came around this one small curve, and I heard him go, "What the hell?" I looked up at this buckskin-colored female Bigfoot. I was scared. I was so scared. And I said, "Bob, we have to leave. We're being warned."
Needless to say, the town hall near the Blue Mountains was packed. Nearly everyone who showed up had an eyewitness account.
About half the distance from me to you was a very large, very hairy fellow.
It had cleared the road in about 3 steps. We weren't able to get a picture of it, but we found a footprint.
A bear could not reach that high to scratch the bark.
She said, I heard a deep, guttural,
it was
growling noise.
Out of nowhere, just...
And with so many first-hand witnesses, we knew we'd have our work cut out for us. Bobo wants to meet with the Summerlin family and hear more of Wes Summerlin's old stories. Then we'll follow up with the Addingtons, who cast that 7-mile trackway. While Matt meets with Chelsea, who had a roadside crossing. And Cliff, he will brave the cold and head out into the woods by himself for a few days.
See you guys in a couple days.
I'm thrilled to be meeting with the Summerlins. Wes Summerlin is a legend as Bigfooters. I mean, he's right up there with Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin. His daughter came to the town hall. His son and eldest grandson were kind enough to invite me out to see some of the original casts he took and tell me some old Wes Bigfooting stories.
Bobo.
You must be the Summerlins.
Yes, sir.
Howdy, Bobo.
Jonathan.
Jonathan, nice to meet you.
That's Wes.
That's Wes.
Oh, wow, there he is. I recognize him from the pictures. Wes was kind of underappreciated. You know, there's a lot of big names in the Bigfoot world, but he's not a household name. Like, I think he should be.
Well, he is a household name around here.
Right.
He liked to be low profile. A lot of people are not aware, but he'd been tracking Bigfoot since the middle 30s.
What did they call it back then? Because they didn't even have the name Bigfoot.
Most Indians would call it the hairy man.
Right.
To them, it was a spirit.
Our grandpa, he wrote down a lot of his older stories, and there's one that I've always been fascinated with, that when he was around 5 years old up on the Colville Reservation where he was raised, he found a track. So, I mean, that's 1924, 1925.
So for 75 years, he was a squatcher.
He was a squatcher ever since the day he was born.
I'm looking at these giant handprints. What's the story with these?
Found these up on
D-Duck Springs.
D-Duck Springs.
Wow.
And these were actually found with 2 footprints as well. And it looks like Bigfoot was squatting, taking care of his business.
Oh.
We actually got a sample of that.
The scat?
Yeah.
They had it analyzed once, and it was of unknown.
Unknown.
Yeah, there wasn't no bear scat or like you would normally think it was.
And this is just a small part of Wes's collection, but he left quite a legacy.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
he did.
Wes Summerlin was widely acknowledged as the best tracker in the Blue Mountains. And with his soil out here and how much time he spent, he was in a position to find some of the best tracks ever cast. I grew up reading about Wes and the tracks he cast. I mean, this guy was out there and had so many encounters, he even named some of the Squatches. He had a personal relationship with them. I'm just really stoked to meet the family and see they're carrying on that family tradition of squatching. So now you guys told me you had a surprise for me when I met you here tonight.
Bring out the Bobo Burger. I named a burger after you here.
Oh, I could eat that. This is more like a Bobito burger. I thought it was gonna be bigger than the plate, like as big as this hand.
I made my way up into the hills to a location where there's been a bunch of reports all within about a half mile of one another. The only way to tell if somebody's home is by calling and saying hello, so let's give it a shot. But I'll tell you, man, it is creepy. Creepy quiet.
I'm headed down to meet with Chelsea from the town hall meeting. She was a Umatilla Indian and had a sighting on the Umatilla Indian Reservation, and it abuts right up against the Blue Mountains. Her sighting is important to us because it happened at the same time of year, and it happened a little over a year ago, so this may end up being a better place for us to figure out where we should go. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Pretty good, thanks for meeting me here. So this is where it happened.
Yeah, on December 27th of 2012. As I was driving down the road, I approached a vehicle and it was coming to a complete stop, so I knew that I should probably slow down. And as I did, I saw a very large figure cross the road in front of me, and I could see arms swinging as it was walking.
So for a few seconds, it was very well lit.
It scared me, honestly. I kind of went into instant shock, and then I said, I think I just saw Bigfoot.
How far away were you from the front of that car?
About the distance from this telephone pole to me and my car.
Wow. You came right together and it walked right in between.
Yeah. It was tall, it was very large. I could see that it was, probably, I'm guessing, around 8 feet tall.
My first impression of this place, it's completely open, but there's a line of trees along the creek. So I'm thinking, yeah, the deer and everything else probably follows along that line of trees, and it was probably using the same path. I have no doubt that Chelsea saw a Sasquatch, and neither does she.